All right, warm-up ideas for running, short version. Roll your ankle, go through full range of motion, feel it, don't just go. That's nothing, waste of time. Full range of motion all the way through. Roll back, again, and again, both ankles. Go a little slower, don't rush it to feel, so you can feel it, develop your full range of motion. Push a little bit here, feel it on the side, got that torque going on. Then on the inside on the ball of the foot, you know, we wanna stretch, get mobility, not hurt ourselves. Go on this side, hold it just a little bit, hold it just a little bit. On the inside, on the ball of the foot, I like to stretch my toes. Sole perpendicular to the ground, toes on the ground. Big toe first, press it down, feel some stretch. Onto the toes, onto the little toe. Come back. Other foot, big toe, middle toes, little toe, middle, big toe. Put the top of the foot on the ground, then like push the ankle forward. Get some stretch there. Helps balance also while we're doing this. Got to balance a little bit on one leg while we're doing the other. Reverse, other. Get it. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Just repeat, but sometimes I do that. Then roll, as I say. Already did that, never mind. Okay, that's a variety of things to do with the feet. Then the knees. Next up, side to side. Trying to keep good posture. Feel your ligaments and tendons and skeletal muscle holding your skeleton together. Feel it up in your back and your hips some. Eventually. I didn't do it right at first. Going back and forth, and then make like a D shape. The knees don't go backwards. Can't do an O, just a D. Or like a C shape. Side, around, side, side, around, side. And then we can go the other way. Side, around, side, side, around, side. And then hips. You can do this in two ways. Roll the hips around a little bit. A few times one way. A few times the other way. Push to the side. Push to the other side. Go a little wider. The other way. Push some more. Push some more. Or one other thing you could do instead is do this or both. Okay, and the shoulders. Remember, go slow. Don't just go. We want to get our nervous system re-engaged in our joints, get used to using our joints, get full range of motion. So there's a lot going on here. It's not just a muscle thing. Working the ligaments, working the tendons, working the muscle, working the nervous system, working the brain, blood chemistry. So go back, up, front, down, back, up, front, down, back, up, front, down, and the other way. Up, back, down, front, up, back, down, front, up, back, down. Trying to keep good posture while you're doing it. And then forward and backward. Up and down. Okay, and the neck is another one that does like a C shape. Doesn't go backwards, we don't go back. Do not look up. We're looking straight and down, not up. Okay, so over, down, up, over, down, up, over, down, up, and again, full range of motion, slow, feel it out. Then you got some total jump mobility, and you can do that a little more, a little less, depending on how you feel. Sometimes I do a lot longer on my feet because they feel like they need it. It feels better to work them out some days than others. Sometimes it can be a little less, but I do this every morning, like after I wake up. Okay, and then some squatting. As low as you can go. Back straight, feet flat, back straight. Just do what you can. So a lot of modern Americans, because of chairs, they can only go like maybe like this, if at all. So just work your way down slowly, do a little bit every day, and eventually everything will work out. Optimal function will come back. And then we can do a good squat, hold it for a little while, and then work on some mobility. Feet farther than shoulder width apart, and go back straight. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll go back and forth like that. Working the knees, getting the hips flexed up a little bit. Because remember, when we run, if we're going to go fast, regardless, we need good hip mobility. If we don't have good hip mobility, we can't bring our leg up high. Okay, then you're just limited to that. Sometimes you need to bring it up high to stretch out, to land over our foot. Because we're going so fast, we got to put our leg out ahead of us so that when the velocity brings us there, we're actually underneath ourselves instead of our feet always being behind. So, got that. And then feet about shoulder width apart again. Go left and go down and hold it. Toe up in the air. Feet and knees in the same direction. Remember that, feet and knees in the same direction for the squat. For the other thing we were doing for this, feet and knees must be in the same direction. Feet and knees. Stretching my hip, working my joints, then the other way. Again, I turn my foot, toes up in the air, feet and knees same direction, holding it here. You can do a few sets of 3, count of 3, or a count of like 10 or 20, depending on how you feel. Different things, different days. Then bounce a different amount, depending on how you feel, how far you're gonna run. Let the heels kiss the ground. We're not landing flat-footed, I'm landing on the balls of the feet, but I'm letting my heels touch the ground because that's what we need to do in running. This basically is running. If we just do this and start leaning forward, then we're running. I'm here. It's running, as long as we switch our feet. Okay, that didn't quite work out right. I was like bouncing with my feet, but you get the idea. But bounce up and down, 20 seconds, a minute. This is basically what running is. I just let my arms relax. Try to hold good posture, think about your breathing. Okay. And then, some mobility. Down on our fours. On the knees, on the hands. And we're gonna go forward and backward and try to have the hands under the shoulders, feet straight down, you know, not like this. We don't want to be splayed out. Have it more lined up and underneath. So we're here, and then, oh yeah, forward and backward first, we're doing that. So back, forward, back. Cut, then side to side. Keep the back straight. Think of moving from the back and the hips. At first, you might be wanting to try to move by the use of your arms, but you want to think of moving with your shoulders and joints and back. Or when I'm doing this, I'm driving from the core and the upper leg and the lower leg, not just from my arms and legs. I can feel myself pushing with my butt. So go side to side. Posture is important. And then roll around one way, then the other way. Okay, and then switch. Now we're in this position, heels and hands. Hands next to your sides, you know, coming down. We want, okay, remember physics. If my hand's out too much, then there's a vertical as well as a horizontal as well as a vertical component of motion and force and tension. I want to try to eliminate the horizontal and have only the vertical. So if my hand's underneath my shoulder, then we got just the vertical. So there's less tension, it's better. So try to do that. Get them hands underneath shoulders again. Then we can again go forward and back. Working our joints. And then we're doing this again. Try to keep feet and knees in the same direction. Don't just go, you know, my feet and my knees are in the same direction as I roll around. And the other way. Okay, so that was sideways, and again back to forward and backward. Now we can come up here, stretch our shoulders some, work on their mobility. And then if I push my back down, I'm pulling like my back between my hips and my shoulders, and instead of being straight, I'm stretching it out. So if you do it, you can feel stretch in your back. Okay, and you can do that. That's another optional thing to do too when you're in this position, hand knee, I mean, for your back. Go concave, convex, concave, convex. So in calculus, we'd have second derivative positive, second derivative negative, second derivative positive, and then we'd have a local maximum here. And we have a second derivative positive, and then we have local minimum here, and local maximum here. So second derivative positive, local min, second derivative negative, local max. Okay, and then some things for balance and mobility. With running, we're going to move. So running is a motion involving balance, gravity, strength, power. It is not static. We want to do moving mobility work to get ready for running, because doing static stuff is not really going to help. And it's actually been contraindicated. Look up the latest research. No stretching beforehand, at least very little. Do more mobility work. So some things we can do for balance and to help us get ready to run. Do some lunges. So we're standing here and step out, go down. This way our joints are being gotten ready. We need our joints to move to run, because we're not, in running, we're not muscles on a stick. We're a moving, graceful, powerful animal. We need to use our lever systems, so we need to get our lever systems ready, not just some kind of like muscle on a stick. Okay. And then backwards. And again, feet and knees in the same direction. Try to keep everything lined up. It's very important, because that's how you want to use it in running, for efficient movement, for preventing injury, for good biomechanics. Feet and knees in the same direction. Try to be good posture. Do a number of those. Okay, depending on the day. And then do some one-legged balance as a start. If you need to, just have your toe on the ground at first a little bit, because when we're running, we must balance. We're on one leg for a period of time, no way around it. So we need to make sure we take care of our balance. Or, you can do it with that one foot on the ground, depending on where you are. Try to keep your hip up. Don't kink it down. That's not what we do when we're running. Got to keep the hip strong and in place. Once the hip collapses in running, you're not being efficient. You don't have good form. You can't get good strength and power. So make sure you're thinking about keeping the hip up, even if you have to put a toe down. And then, of course, you can move a leg, swing it. So that's what we got to do when running. Do like contralateral motion. Contra, like opposite sides move together. Go out. There's different things you can do. If you don't have much time, just do some of this. And then on the other foot, if you got more time, or on like you're going shorter distance or on an off day, you can do more of this. So again, swing the foot, keep the hip up, go front, back. You can go out, the other way, behind, do all kinds of things you can imagine. Try to go back, down, forward, up a little bit. That's a new one to me. I got to work on that. I was doing it earlier better. Great that I can't do it as good for the camera. Okay. But that's the things to do. Move around. Play with it. Work on balance. Because remember, you're working your neurological system, you're helping balance, you're helping prevent falls, all this other stuff while you're doing this. There's a lot of benefits we get out of this than just one. Move around, try things. All right, I think that's it. That's all I can recall right now. There's always more you can do. Maybe a few push-ups, some jumping jacks. And if you want, you could do some side sits. Go one way, help work out the hip, sit up straight. Do this. Then the other way. Interesting that I can't do it as well on this side. A lot better on the other side. Something like funky going on that I don't think I can deal with at all. I think it's just in my skeletal system. Then you can flip back and forth if you want. If you're here, you could also do all right. There's always more, but those are some good things to do in different amounts, different amount of time. Get ready for a run. Anyway, if you got any questions, let me know. Hope you have a good day. Stay fit and be a good rational human animal.